What is an estimate? And as a customer, what does it mean to me?
Well, the first thing that customers need when they come to our shop, if it's going to be through an insurance company, is called an estimate. And what we do is we go out, we estimate all the damage to the vehicle. We get photos, we get photos of the mileage and the VIN number and all the damage in four corners of the car and all the documentation that the insurance company needs. The estimate itself is going to be entered on our software, and we go through and we list all of the parts that need to be replaced along with the labor and the cost of the part, as well as any panels or any parts that need to be repaired. We'll also have the labor for the repair, as well as any paint and materials that go along with the repair.
What happens in the repair process of my vehicle? And what is a supplement?
What happens in the repair process, once the insurance company has approved the estimate, we can go ahead and order our parts. And then again, like I said, an estimate is an estimate. Most of the vehicles, once they're tore down and they're tore apart, you find additional damage, additional parts that need to be ordered, additional things that need to be addressed, which is called a supplement at that point, which would be handed in to the insurance company just like the original estimate was handed in. Very common for vehicles to have a supplement, but as the repair process goes along, the parts are ordered. Once the parts are received and checked in, we check to make sure they're the correct parts, and then we can go ahead and start the repair process. Every job's different, so some jobs obviously have less work than others. The ones that are more crucial, more damage, obviously take more time. There's more labor. There's sometimes more equipment that goes into it. If it has to go up on the frame machine, if it has to have any of the unibody structure pulled and measured, if it has a bunch of welding, versus a vehicle that, say, for instance, has a scratch on the door and you're repairing that scratch, that's obviously a much quicker repair than something structural or needed welding or anything like that. And as it travels through the shop, it goes from metal repair to body repair, into your prep stations and into paint. And then once the vehicle's painted, it's obviously got to be reassembled and cleaned, and so it's clean for the customer when they pick it up.
What are some of the things that customers do not understand about the repair process of their vehicle?
A lot of things customers don't see. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind closed doors in any automotive collision shop. They always look worse before they look good. Cars come in and they're all smashed, and the repair process, all the things that that come into play in a repair. They don't understand that, they look at say for instance, a front bumper that's got a gouge or a crack in it, and it may need, a repair process done. They don't understand that bumper has to come off the vehicle. Anything that attaches to that bumper has to come off the vehicle, and then the repair has to be done. So there's a lot of labor that has to be done before the actual repair can start. And that's no different than if it were a door or a quarter panel or anything like that. If you're fixing, a door, you have to remove the mirror and the belt molding and the glass and the run channel and the door handle and any cladding that's on the door. All that stuff has to be removed before your repair process can start. So a lot of these repairs are labor inducive before you actually get to the repair. And these are things on the estimates that customers don't understand. Well, what's this term R&I mean? What's this term, repair or replace? Or, R&I means remove and install. So anything that's on the panel that you have to repair, you have to remove it before you do the repair and then install it after the repair is done. There's a lot of terms on estimates that people don't understand, like, what's LKQ, what's aftermarket, what's OEM, what are these sublet lines that I don't understand what this terminology means. Insurance companies, obviously, if your vehicle's over a year old, they're going to go the cheapest way out. So they want to find used parts, they want to find aftermarket parts, and so they use that terminology on an estimate. And a customer might read it and say, well, they're replacing my door. Well, they may not be replacing your door with an actual OEM factory part. If it's over a year old, they're probably writing it to replace it for used or aftermarket or something like that, where we try to use our vendors to try to get the OEM parts, companies to price match aftermarket so that we can still put an OEM part on, because we don't like to mess around with the fit and finish of aftermarket stuff. But those are some of the things that go on in a repair process that nobody really knows about as we go along.
What are the differences between a good and bad auto body repair shop?
Well, your better shops, it comes right down to, training and knowledge and equipment. These cars are built today. They're a driving computer. There's a lot of different alloys. There's aluminum, there's high-strength steel, there's, regular steel, and you have to know how to repair these. And some of these panels are bonded, and some are welded. Some are silicon bronze, some are, aluminum welded. So, you have to know what you're working on. You have to have the skill to know what you're working on. So that involves not only, expensive equipment, but training and knowledge. And some of your repair shops that, they get paid to remove stuff. They get paid to R&I things off of panels, and they don't. They tape them and they paint around them. Next thing you know, you're going through a car wash and, a high-pressure wash, and the next thing you know, your paint's peeling. Well, that's because they didn't take the stuff off. They didn't sand it correctly. They didn't prep it correctly. And people always are looking for a deal. People are always, this shop over here can save me $500, and, it's going to cost $500 more if I have it done at your shop. Well, that's probably because they're cutting a corner. That's probably because they're not going to take something off, or they're not going to do something right. And in the end, you're going to have an imperfect repair. And a lot of those shops aren't going to stand behind their repairs. Your good shops are going to do what's on the estimate, and they're going to fight for the customer with the insurance company to get the car repaired back to, pre-accident condition, and that shop is going to stand behind their repairs. So those are some of the things that are different between, shops that, I would say I would want to take my vehicle to versus some shops that I wouldn't take my vehicle to.
Is there anything else that you would like customers to know or think they should know?
Customers need to know that in the, post-COVID environment that we're in right now, you got to be patient. Insurance companies are backlogged. A lot of these insurance companies have laid people off, and they're relying on a fewer number of staff members to handle big areas. Parts, same thing. You can't, these parts distributors, a lot of these people, aren't back to work. Parts are delayed. Insurance companies are delayed as far as getting estimates, back to you and approvals back to you. It's just everything is slowed down a little bit. But and when it comes to the actual repair process of the vehicle, our job really doesn't change a whole lot. And, we try to be as transparent as we can to our customers to let them know, what we do to their vehicle, because a lot of people drop their car off and they come back and they pick their car up and it's beautiful, but they don't understand what goes on in between. And when you're looking at a, $7, $8, $9, $10,000 job, there's a lot of work that went on between the time you drop that vehicle off to the time you pick it up. And there's a lot that happens between administrative, between parts, between labor, between paint, body, welding, metal, cleanup. There's a lot that goes on to people's cars that, they're not really, aware of. We're going to do some videos of some before and afters later on, and we're going to do some information videos about how we do what we do so that people can see that. Tune into some of our other videos that we're going to have, some of our other blogs. They're going to be informational. They're going to be learning videos. There's going to be some stuff that a lot of people, I think, will be very interested in.